All right, let's talk a little bit of college hoops. Let's. I mean, I look. Somebody came out with their early rankings for next year, and LaSalle and St. Joe's, or St. Joe's and LaSalle, they was picked 13th and 14th in the A10. It's been a while since I've seen them both at the bottom, behind Fordham and all those other schools. What are some of the issues that are really impacting the local A10 programs? And do you think it has to do with the Big Ten and the Big East just really being dominant forces and recruiting in this region right now? Is the A10 paying for the rise of Rutgers and Maryland and Penn State? Or is this just a little bump in the road and these guys going to get it together and we're going to start seeing some Big Five, A10 championships coming out of 20 for Olney and 54 for City Ave? Go ahead. I'm going to go with you first, Kyle, because I expect some really good stuff from Lonnie. So go ahead.
Man, listen, I'm a firm believer that LaSalle and St. Joe's will do a lot better than those rankings show. I think Ash and Billy both are at that year where, they've had a year or two to recruit some kids. It helps that the portal is wide open right now, and there's a bunch of prospects sitting. I think both of them did a good job. This year in the off season so far, being able to get some new recruits. I mean, we got players at both programs, so we want to see them win. We want to see them do well. I think that Villanova just does a great job and has figured it out and, found their niche and recruits the players that work for them. It doesn't hurt that they won 2 national championships in the last 6 years. Mm-hmm. And they've had, guys leave Villanova and have success in the NBA. And I think that's what kids are looking for nowadays, a chance to play in a program that can develop you and get you to the next level. Ash coming from Villanova, he's familiar. He's had great stops along his coaching time. And I think what Billy did with the Sixers and at other universities is, shown he knows what he's doing as well. I think we got to give him some time to figure some things out. LaSalle had a little bit better of a year than St. Joe's last year. I know St. Joe's took some lumps, but just seeing Billy go out there and play one of the toughest schedules in the country, I think that gives him a lot of credit for what he, going about it that way. He could have probably played a bunch of fluff games and maybe had a chance to get a little bit more wins, but he's setting the bar and saying they're not scared to play anybody anywhere. So see what happens. Lonnie gonna give you the popcorn answer right here. He gonna get your popcorn ready.
I'm not gonna give you the popcorn answer. Hey, listen, man. They both going to eventually get it together. It's some things that for St. Joe's, I thought a lot of people, they had a lot of stuff happen. Couple of COVID shutdowns, losing one kid, I think to injury. They had a lot of different injuries. They had a lot of different things happen. Plus, their schedule was unbelievably crazy
and front loaded.
Yeah, it was bananas. It looked crazy. So I mean that was from the door. Ash is just got to figure his niche out with the kids that he's got. He's got some talent. I think neither one of them be 13, 14. And then they both got things to work on. They both got to continue to recruit our area. I do think it hurts that there are kids that, they neither one of them can have gotten, or like I know this just the Dante Scotts, even though that dude, pro and all that, or even a situation Jordan Hall leaving, which I'm not a fan of because Jordan Hall got a chance to be a pro and he could have been a pro there. He didn't have to leave to go wherever he went. That's perfectly fine. But kid's really good. Hope he does well. But when you lose a kid like Jordan Hall, that's how you stay 13, 14. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to keep a kid like that who, now he's high major player. He was probably a high major player before, just whatever happened. But he went there, had a great year and bounced, but that could keep you there. They got some kids coming in there, but Ash has got some kids coming in. It's gonna be interesting, man. But they got to keep recruiting kids. They got to get after it. Everybody in this area got to recruit Philly kids. All the area teams, City 6 schools got to recruit the area. And we got to do a better job of making sure our kids are good enough. I mean, even a kid like Rasul Diggins, who clearly, top player in the area last year, even though he's going to a great spot, somebody's got to find a way to keep that kid here. Mm-hmm. Somebody. I know St. Joe's recruited him hard. I'm not sure about LaSalle. I'm not sure about Temple. So I'm not saying it. But, that kid goes to the Big East. He's going to go and get busy in the Big East, but somebody's got to find a way to keep that kid here. How do you keep not seeing Wooga Poplar here? He's going to Miami. Mm-hmm. But those are the ways for even not so much as just St. Joe's and LaSalle, but just all the schools in this area outside of Villanova. I mean, they pretty much get what they want, or the kids they want. So
your response is really, really interesting because it gets right at what I think is the crux of the matter. So why not St. Joe's, LaSalle, Temple for Wooga, Sewell, and kids like that? Is it because of something structural, the shift in the larger picture of college basketball? Guys just want to play high major basketball, ride on private jets, get those high major stipends. Is it all of that stuff, or is it something like if Ash and Billy just have a breakthrough and then they can have some momentum and just keep getting the guys? So is it structural? Is it just guys going to the big time stuff, or is it, more about the effort and the personalities of the local coaches, just in terms of trying to get these kids on campus and closing the deal? What's more important? If it was a different coach at St. Joe's, could he have kept Jordan Hall, or do you think Jordan was just bound to go big conference on somebody?
The year that Jordan Hall had, honestly, no matter who the coach was, he probably, with the way the transfer portal is right now, he probably would have put his name in. So I'm not gonna put that on Billy. I feel like he put the kid out there as a freshman, put the ball in his hands, gave him a chance to go make plays. Kid played point guard for more than 75% of the year. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do there? I think he finished top freshman in the country in assists per game. The guys like Cade Cunningham out there, that's an incredible stat. That alone right there is going to get that kid, get some calls and get some interest from other places. But I
was impressed when he came out at first and said he wasn't going. Because I knew, you guys hear it, I hear
gotta look at it, yeah.
Like if he come out, how many times you hear that? If he go in the portal, he'll get this, and this. So these guys know kind of what's out there, whether you go in the portal or not. It's kind of hard to resist that at 19. Maybe you never flew on a private jet before. That's my whole take on it, is that I think that there's something structural, really going on here. And I think that, for better, for worse, St. Joe's and LaSalle are a lot closer to Delaware and Drexel than they've ever been. In terms of, are they closer to Rutgers and Maryland and Penn State and Seton Hall and Villanova, or are they closer to Delaware and Drexel? I think it's pretty crystal clear, that you either one of those big boys or you not. That whole middle thing is kind of getting squeezed. That's just how I see it. I think you're either in that big club or you on the outside of that big club. Y'all disagree?
No, I agree. I agree with that, because I'm looking at some of the kids that's at some of these different places, and that's the thing. There's the kid at Delaware, the kid Andrew Carr. I'm telling you, everybody I've told he is a stud. Like, he's a mid-plus high major kid who shouldn't necessarily be at Delaware. They did a great job of recruiting them and getting them there. And that kid can play at St. Joe's and LaSalle.
Yes, he
easy.
Can.
A Temple, we can play almost anywhere. Like, I don't know if people missed the boat, but I don't know how many people was actually really, really recruiting the kid. But that kid makes them just as good as long as they're guards, as some of those other schools, man. But that middle is definitely tight. And like I said, it's all about recruiting this area to me. But again, at times I look at the area. I know the area has struggled. We haven't had like the greatest players. We've had good players. But that middle is also kind of where we, after your first 3 or 4 kids, are these other kids good enough? to actually play and help you win. You know, we listen. We have fights over players. You know, I've seen myself fighting over a kid that was a mid-level kid or a low one kid. And,
you used to tell me guys be fighting over NEC and America East kids.
It's crazy. I mean, I can see what we used to. All right, listen. Let's have a fight over some pros, or let's get mad if I take a top 50 from you, a top 100 from you, or you take one from me. Not a kid that's going to a lower level, man. And this, you know, but I feel like the talent got to get there. We got to do a better job at the bottom. Our development is bad right now, man. We just don't have the kids. And then when we see that one kid, everybody goes crazy. Oh my goodness. But the problem is it should be 10 to 12 kids like that. And we don't have it. We don't have it in the area, man. It's just not like that. It's when before it was, you know, you didn't have to worry about how many point guards. I mean, of course, I come from, like I said, 2004. I'm stuck there. But like that year, there was just so many good players. You know, everybody had a good team. Everybody had a good team. There was mid plus high major players everywhere. And we didn't have to necessarily fight because everybody had enough, more than enough. So, but now it's you know, so that's another thing too in the area. I mean, the coaches recruiting the area, they might be looking like, man, the kids ain't that good, or they're not good enough, or they can't help us. So, you know, but I think they still got to recruit the area. They got to get on kids early. They got to figure it out, and hopefully not wait late or not wait till some of these other schools do a better job of actually recruiting and getting the kids first, or offering the kids first, and then saying, oh, let me offer the kid, I want to recruit him. So,
well, the one school that I think truly is like on the fence and can go either way, it can get in with those big schools, or it could fall back to the pack of the other schools, is Temple, you know, because they kind of, you know, you look at their schedule, you know, you got Memphis, Cincinnati, you got Wichita State. I mean, the league is spread out all over the country, but it's 5 or 6, you know, really high major programs that play in that league. You look at their facilities, got a nice on-campus stadium. They got the couple $1 million weight room. Temple seems to have everything that all the big schools have. Kyle, do you see them being able to close this gap with Villanova anytime soon, or are we just destined to be like Gladys Knight and the Pips forever and ever? Because it's getting kind of boring. I used to look forward to Big 5 games. I don't anymore, man. You know what's coming for the most part.
It's crazy. I was just talking about this. I trained a bunch of Temple alums, and we were going back and looking at the last 15 years of the Big 5 and seeing who won. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I automatically in my head, I'm thinking Villanova has won X amount in the last, but if you look back at it, it's been up and down. You know, Temple's had his years.
Crazy. It's got to be in the high 90 percentile. You know,
Big 5. No, Dell, you got to look at it. I'm telling you, it's not as many as we think. They've had, of course, more success outside of the Big 5.
Well, Penn beat them. CJ Aiken and them beat them when Malik Waynes was there. Other than that, I don't remember.
That was a bad year. No, I think St. Joe's had another year after that.
Where they got
I think they had a more recent year where St. Joe's won. What year was that? I just was looking at this not too long ago. I think like the last 4 or 5, maybe the year before Martelli left.
Well, you know,
I think St. Joe's had a year, but
I'm a little older than both of y'all, but late 70s all the way through the 80s, there was no question this was a Temple basketball town. And Villanova won a national championship in that era. But this was a Philadelphia basketball town, and you thought of Temple as either 1 or 1A. And now it's a clear, you know, number 2. And that's all I'm asking. You think Aaron is on the right track of, you know, closing that gap? I mean, Jay going in the hall, he's still going strong. It's all good. But can Aaron get to a point where you view Temple in the same light as you view Rutgers, Penn State, Seton Hall? I think they're already right there with Georgetown. Georgetown doesn't have it like it used to have it. But, you know, those other schools, they're the big boys in the region. You know, can Temple get back to that status quo?
I got the stat. I pulled it up. So Nova won in the last 10 years. They won 2010, 13 through 18. Penn won one in 19. Temple won one with LaSalle in 12, 13. I think that was LaSalle's Sweet 16 year. And then St. Joe's won in 2011, 2012. So yeah, I mean, Nova
that
the
was
last
that was CJ Aiken in them.
CJ Aiken, yeah.
Yeah, that was CJ Aiken's team. So yeah, I mean, I think just from a facility standpoint, from a structure, another school you left out of that conference is Houston. I think that Temple can be right there. And I put the work in, man. Like Jay's guys do a good job at identifying, being able to get the guys, build the relationships with the programs that consistently, fit them. You gotta put the work in. You guys gotta get the work in. I feel like not only in our area, but the surrounding, states that touches. The DMV area has played a big part in where the power has laid in the Big Five. Nova has done a good job recruiting the DMV, but even when you look at that St. Joe's team, they had Philadelphia kids on it. Gotta find a way to get Philadelphia kids. If you got two of those kids from the Big Ten at Temple right now, it's a dogfight. It can go either way. We gotta go ahead.
Hey Dell, let me ask you a question, right? If you had a son, right? Say you from Philadelphia, right, Dell?
Mm-hmm.
And you got a son, right? And you've seen your son play every game of his since he started playing, especially high school, AAU, and all that, right? And that's pretty much what it is. So look at Temple and look at the schools they play in the AAC, right? Name them. Name them and name where they at.
Memphis, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Tulane, New Orleans, Central Florida, East Carolina, SMU, Dallas, Texas.
A lot of frequent flyers.
Listen, but that's what I'm saying. So my question is, would it be outside of the home games? Which I mean, and then
yeah, you're not going to none of those games.
Right.
Unless you're a wealthy person.
Right. So, so you do the math. You know what I'm saying? Like that's because I know I had a parent tell me that was why Temple wasn't as attractive. And when he told me that, I was just sitting there thinking, like, damn, that's crazy. But it actually, it made a lot of sense. He liked Temple. He liked everything about him. He just said, look, I want to see my boy play pretty much every game he plays. And he just said, I can't get to Wichita, Kansas. I can't get to Houston. I can't get to SMU. He said, I might could drive to Cincinnati. That's a super long drive. He really broke it down. I was just like, wow. So I never thought about that. Huh?
I actually thought about it a little differently. I think you're on to something, but I thought it was like the rivalries. Because even as good as some of these teams are, they don't mean nothing locally. Like, unless you're a real hoop head, you don't understand what Wichita represents. You don't know.
Agree. Yeah, agree. They don't.
Whereas even a bad GW team, we were used to George Washington. That's the boys from DC. They come up here. People know what that is. St. Bonaventure, people know what that is. Rhode Island, everybody know what that is. And so now you're selling East Carolina. People like, what is that?
So same thing, though. Same thing. Like I said, I don't know how that conference thing works, but that's something that I think has actually hurt them a tad in the recruiting.
In basketball. They chase football, man.
Which is understandable, but it is hurting them in basketball for sure.
Fair enough.